Thanks you for the invitation. Well, we started a stint as a think tank to explore the prerequisites of new technologies, what is needed, wrote some position papers for government, stuff like this. With the time, we switched even into supporting actively startups, exploring these niches and connecting these startups, now even investing into promising ideas. Niches and sectors. It's a very, very interesting time because this new reality is turning into a new normal where you need hybrid concepts so that when something, another pandemic event will occur, that we will not be so lost how we are now. So I see here a huge possibility in the whole collaboration cooperation sector. Events will totally change. Conferences, I mean, just switching into a two-dimensional thing is not the real solution. Everyone is using tools that were designed for the pre-pandemic era. So here is a huge opportunity. Fashion will have a large need on invest to embed masks, to embed trackers, to embed even some kind of possibilities to show you if you keep distance or not.
We're a venture capital fund that focuses on the science and tech of health and happiness. So pretty much deep science and deep tech, right from life sciences through to food and drink, agri-tech, consumer goods. And I'd say the biggest, to your point around what are the most promising niches, we're a little bit biased. We've been in life sciences and healthcare for a number of years, and we've only seen growth in that sector. And particularly in this period of time, our portfolio companies who are working in the healthcare space, they are overwhelmed with demand because that healthcare, the face of healthcare has changed today. Whether that's video consultations, telemedicine, remote monitoring. I believe there are even sort of oncology patients who are being monitored from home, whereas previously they'd all want to go in. And I think the biggest change there is the culture shift, right? Before patients wanted to be in front of doctors face to face, whereas now the danger is, I don't want to go in hospital, I want to be at home. And so there's that major shift in how technology can enhance or make healthcare more efficient. I think that's one area. And then another area that we have personally seen has been, I don't need to say this, but remote working, tools to enhance working from home much easier, much more smoother, security issues in that space, but also e-commerce. So online shopping, oddly. Massive changes in that sector too. So I'd say those are the three biggest areas that we've seen changes in.
My name is Mark Pilkington. I'm Associate Professor of Economics in a French university. So I'm talking to you from France today. Maybe 2 points I would like to raise with you. Does anybody see any potential anytime soon? Because of course we're entering, as we said, we're entering a massive downturn, recession. But there are going to be some opportunities, some winners, some losers, and some winners. What about software as service platforms, which have existed already for a while? But what about expanding this business in a way that is customized for businesses, for their need, for the new reality? So we were talking about the healthcare sector. What about platform design for the medical industry? And I also had in mind the legal sector, because I think lawyers are going to be very busy. Why? Because we are entering a kind of a gray area from a scientific standpoint, but it's also true from a legal standpoint. I think this pandemic is raising a lot of legal questions. So what do you see any potential for software as a service? We are trying to distinguish between new opportunities that are arising, but there are different investors, or there are different asset classes, but there are different categories of investors. Should we continue to differentiate between investors, and in terms of the opportunities that they should pursue in these times of pandemics?
Already before coronavirus, the whole landscape started to change concerning investments, because especially in Europe and in Germany, we are extremely careful concerning investments. So I've been always very sad when I had to give a recommendation to one of my startups, instead of begging here for 100 or 200,000 euros, sending them over to the United States with their idea, because then they could raise around 2, 3, 4, 5 million. In the last time, I focused more on family offices, because family offices are, especially in Europe, can be a very sustainable kind of investment. So bringing these people together, and this was also one of the questions, previous questions, like these focus fields on investors, they have always been there. You have an investor, I mean, you invest only in things that you somehow can overlook, that you somehow understand. So I would never in my life try to invest into insurtech. I don't deal with it. Of course, I have insurances, but I can't invest into this. So a lot of colleagues from different VC companies always had some kind of sweet spots where they've been interested into. Like everything that has to do with a sharing model. Some others are focused on female founders only, because this is something they understand. They have a good feeling about. One guy invests only into startups that are somehow related to Israel. I don't need to recommend him a startup from the Ukraine if the founder is not somehow bound onto this. So we had always this kind of categorization. And I like that Devyani talks about human capital. This is something so important. We are no resources. Resource is something that you exploit, that you use, that you spit out. Employees of the future, and even it was mentioned, millennials. Right now, around 50% of the millennials do not want to work for a company that makes intransparent decisions. It does not mean illegal. It does not mean immoral. Simply, they don't explain you. And these are the employees of the future. So if our society does not adapt onto this, we will lose these people, because doing business as usual, like we've done this before, will not continue. So human capital is the first step, but we also need to change our mindsets. I see it here during the lockdown. The people that are able to work from home or mobile, they are relaxed. They see the value of being their own timekeeper. Not having, in Germany, we have this word, it's for a manager, it's Vorgesetzter, the one who sits in front of you. We believe into this. Someone that is still observing you, and if you are not sitting at your place, you are not working. This changes. Because on the one side, the accountants and controllers in our corporate systems, they see how cheap it is. If the people are sitting at home, they consume their own energy, they have to take care of the internet connection, they drink their own coffee, and they don't waste time in the office with the others. So it's more efficient. They can reduce their places. The canteen does not need to be open all the time. The cleaning staff doesn't need to come every day, twice per week is okay. Business travels.
Yeah, no, I love pitching here, and I think it's a good platform. I agree with the questions directly after the 5-minute pitch, and just so there's more thorough. I mean, as long as people don't go off on a tangent and have another 5-minute pitch on a single question, I guess would be good. And then also, I agree with having at least 1 or 2 experts that are going to be that are familiar with the industry, I guess, as well. So, I mean, that way they can back up what we're saying, which is good. But yeah, no, it's awesome. I like this. I mean, this is the second time pitching here. Practice makes perfect.
I'm investing in a company right now that I didn't see in a pitch contest, but someone that I work with closely did and connected them to me. So it doesn't necessarily even mean who's in the room at that point in time. It's a good way to get your business out there. So I'm always happy to participate. And I would say almost every single pitch competition that I've been involved in, I've made some kind of connection for the people that have pitched, whether it's a potential customer, partner, or investor. So I think the value is there. And that might be, you know, one of the things that you can discuss with people before they go on is what their willingness to be helpful as well. Because I think that's really important for, I'm an entrepreneur first, and I know how much time and energy it takes to do these things. And you want to be putting your energy somewhere where you can get some value. So making sure that the people at the table who are listening in have some interest in and want to be supportive. So that could be an ask on your part.
I'm very honored because I've been invited by LATOKEN, by Elena, by yourself to co-moderate this session today. I've learned a lot about the different speakers, a lot of great insights. The pitches also were very good. And I hope we renew, we continue our efforts with this format, maybe slightly improved, who knows. But overall, I want to say that my impression is very positive, very, very favorable, and I'm grateful for this opportunity, this experience.